Hey, what's up everybody? I was able to try out these Moultrie Edge 2 cellular cameras. They're really cool. I do like the idea. They have a feature to where you can link up your cell phone to the camera, and since they're cellular based, that you can get instant photos to your phone. And I really like the features on the app itself. There's an on-demand feature, which I think is really cool. The idea is awesome. Basically what that is if you want to see what's going on right then and there, you just hit the button and it'll instantly take a photo of what's going on, whether it's triggered or not. You're doing the triggering basically, which I think is really cool. And another feature about the camera is rather than using a certain cellular coverage, it will try to link up to one of the four towers, and they'll find the strongest one and you'll have the best signal possible. So setting this camera up, I realized this is probably one of the easiest cameras to set up. You have to download the app on your phone, and once you have that app, you secure it to a tree or whatever you're using and just turn it on. You wait about a minute, the lights will flash, and then it'll show a green light right there on the connected feature, and that's it. You leave, and ideally it should work. I went out, tried it just locally where I knew there was going to be a lot of deer, and here's the footage. All right guys, so I've had this camera, it's the Moultrie Edge 2, for a couple days now. When I first set it up, everything was going flawlessly. I mean, it was connecting to my app on my phone real well. It was sending pictures right off the bat for half the day. So I set it up and was almost immediately getting photos of deer up until about 11 o'clock at night, and then nothing. Even until noon the next day, I was getting nothing, and I thought that was weird because there were a lot of deer in that area. And I set this up in kind of a neighborhood area where I know there's a lot of deer. So I thought that was weird, but I went and checked and looked in the area, and I didn't see a lot of animals or activity in that area. So I chalked it up as just maybe there weren't any deer in there for the time being. So fast forward until that evening, I went back, and there were literally deer just all over, almost right in front of the camera even. So I knew something was up. So I went over, I shut it off, turned it back on, connected it to my phone, all that good stuff. And again, immediately I got a picture of a deer after I left, but that was it. And I mean, that was around 7:30 p.m. last night. And it is now about, I don't know, little after noon the next day, and I've not got anything at all. And there's no activity on the check-in for the camera, any of that stuff. So I'm gonna go see what's going on. I would highly recommend, if you're getting a camera like this, to do what I'm doing first before you drive 2 or 3 hours away to set it up in a hunting spot of yours, because you might be disappointed. So if this thing isn't working out after this, I'm not going to have the best review of this camera, honestly. So here we go. Basically, I have this in an apple orchard that's just filled with deer. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have about 5 deer. I don't know, maybe 20 yards from me. So the camera's not working. I know they've walked by this camera, but I've sat in front of it just to see if it'd actually activate or something, or send me some kind of photo. So I'm gonna check that and see. Well, I just checked it and nothing. I don't have any pictures sent to my phone, so let's look in the... I wonder if I just hit this connect button, what would happen? I don't see a whole lot going on. I don't see any lights flashing, nothing. And it says my batteries are good, which they very well should be. Last it checked in, it was 80-something%. So I'm gonna take the batteries out, reconnect this thing, and I'm gonna give it one more night, maybe for the rest of the day into the evening, and I'm coming back to get this thing. Alrighty, so I've got that reset, or I guess I got the batteries out, and I'm gonna try to reset it. Turn that on. And usually it'll start connecting. That'll flash for a second. And then when it's connected, it'll go to that connected icon and turn green. Just to give you an idea of how long it takes to connect. I mean, it's not too long. I've never ran a camera like this. I don't know what is standard, but there we go. We're connected, supposedly. So let's go ahead and shut this, adjust it. I'm gonna stick around and see if it'll take a picture of me, actually. So, like I said, I set this up in pretty much the city, in an apple orchard. And I don't have it locked up or anything like that. And at this point, it's like, I'm kind of wondering if they'd be doing me a favor if they stole the camera. I don't know. But I'm still giving it the benefit of the doubt here. It's not looking good. I'm gonna sit here for a second. Hello, camera. Hopefully it'll capture me doing something. All right, well, I got the camera set up and it is transmitting photos to my phone, which is, it's good, but let's just see how long that lasts. I have a feeling that it's not gonna stay doing that. It's probably gonna do that for an hour or two and then stop working. So I'm gonna head out of here. Actually, there's a nice buck right there. Let's see if I can get a photo. Anyway, you can see how easily distracted I am. That buck should be on this camera a million times, but it hasn't been. But anyways, I have a feeling that this camera is just not gonna work a couple hours from now. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. If I get any photos of that buck or the buck that it's sparring with right now, I'll put them up on the video, but I'm hoping this works out. I think this would be a very cool camera. All right, well, a little bit of an update. The camera is taking pictures so far. Not gonna hold my breath, but it's actually functioning pretty well. So it is 6:15 p.m. I just barely got a couple more pictures off of it, so I know that it's still active and working. But we'll see how it goes. If it can last through the night into tomorrow, I think we might be good. Maybe it was just a little glitch that I worked out. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. All right, well, I'm back at the camera again. Unfortunately, it stopped taking pictures again. So the last signal that I got was around 10:30, and that was it. And I know there were deer coming through here probably all last night and this morning. So with that being said, I wouldn't trust this particular camera for more than a half a day, because that's all it really gives me. So unless I can figure something out to fix whatever it's doing, I wouldn't really trust it. So I'm gonna tinker with it a bit. If I can figure something out, I'll give an update, but it's not looking good. But when the camera was working, I liked it. It was taking great video, it was taking great photos, the on-demand feature was working. It just stopped working and stopped checking in. There's a feature where if you don't hear from this camera, or I guess the camera doesn't get any activity, it will check in with your app. And it'll show you on your app the time that it checked in last. Or the last time a photo was taken, it'll stamp it. It would just stop working after a photo was taken, and it would just not check in at all. It never checked in. So take it for what it's worth. I'm not saying that this is a bad camera. I'm just saying my experience with it was not so great. Well, if you stuck around that long, thanks for watching. I may be doing more reviews in the future, so keep an eye out for that. And if you feel so inclined, please subscribe. Thanks.